What is up, traders? Welcome to the Trade Talk channel, where I teach you how to analyze price for the most consistent and higher probable entries to help you become a better trader. First of all, Bitcoin is on a new yearly opening range. Happy New Year to everybody. May 2022 be the best year of your life. With that close, we also got a new quarterly and a new monthly. However, the weekly, that will be closing tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at what all this means. So make sure you stick around to the end. All right. So first and foremost, the quarterly close here looks okay. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. I did not want to see this thing close out red. So now we're going to take a look at things on a smaller time frame chart. You see here, let's go to the monthly first. All right, here on the monthly, you can see that we have closed two monthly candles when we did make this new monthly print. This big bullish candle took out monthly resistance. So I was expecting for a small pullback on this monthly right here to pull back into support and take off. We did not get that. Instead, what we got was more downside continuation, and this was a pretty weak close. If I bring this over here to this, you can see this is monthly resistance, and you closed below it. So this could mean that we are potentially going to see more downside. Now, I'm not looking for Bitcoin to take off to the downside from here. There is monthly support there. Here is monthly support. So I'm assuming that we probably take out last month's low and then we head back up, as price does like to chop around and liquidate people on both sides of the market. So I am going to look to continuously take my short scalps until we get a bullish pop. Then I'll probably be looking to load up on some short positions on Bitcoin around $55,000, but we'll get into that here in a second. So with this closure below monthly resistance, if we go on out to the 2-week, this is my favorite time frame. I'm going to put this back where it's supposed to be, and that is right there on that bearish candle's open, as this is 2-week demand. You have tested it multiple times, and it so far has held. This Sunday, tomorrow, or if this video comes out on Sunday, this candle will close at 7 p.m. If it's closing below $46,027, then we're going to look for a little bit more continuation back down to roughly 42 and into $40,000 area. And that's where I would expect a bounce. So we're going to keep 2-week demand there, so that way we can see what happens. If we go into the weekly time frame, you can see that we are basing, right? Last week we got a nice bullish push. We took out weekly resistance. I'll go ahead and throw a line on there to show you what I'm talking about. This close right here took us above weekly resistance, so we were looking for push down to $50,089, and I wanted to see that area hold as support, and then I was going to be aiming for higher prices. But you can see we blasted right down through that level, came all the way down, tested weekly support, and we are currently getting a slight bounce from there. All right, so it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen in the next day or two. If we go out here to the daily, so currently daily resistance is holding. So basically I took a position in this area and I was aiming for support down here. I'll go show you that on an intraday chart real fast, show you what I'm talking about. So basically it was off the 4-hour. I was looking for bearish entry here at this resistance level, 47,200. And then I was only aiming for support. So intra-range trading. I'm basically just trading the bounces, and this is the entry. And if price gets down here, then you exit the position. All right. And then that'll be today's trade. Not looking for anything massive, as today is a holiday. Very, very light liquidity in the markets. So we're just going to keep watching this range. What I was talking about earlier, why the $55,000 area would I like to take a short? Simply because of this right here. This, we know that supply is setting at about 60K. We know that for a fact because we were unable to get any continuation above 60K for any length of time. So we only got 2 closes above that level, and that's when we got the downside. So that lets us know that the buyers were exhausted above 60,000 bucks. Now, instead of looking for price to trade all the way back up to $60,000, I think it'll fall short. This was an old supply zone here. You can see that price fell out of there sharply, came back into it to test it here, and it held on a 2-week basis until you got this stuff. Now on this first bearish outside range candle, or also known as a bearish engulfing, you can see what price we tested before we got the bounce. That was old supply. All right, old supply. It held, then price traded up into that body, and then boom, down. So this is why I'm going to be watching $55,000, because it was old supply, and price has showed us multiple times, even recently, that it is testing that level as potential resistance. Now, if price goes all the way through that and gets above $60,000, then we have another narrative on our hands. I am not going to look for bearish targets if Bitcoin is trading above $60,000. Then we're going to be looking for bullish price targets on Bitcoin. We're going to look for Bitcoin to break out of its old all-time highs and continue to move higher. However, if $55,000 does indeed hold price, that will be where I look to get short. But we're not even there yet, guys, so don't get too concerned or anything like that. Either we're going to be bullish or we're going to be bearish in 2022, and I'm leaning more towards the bearish side of things just because of monetary policy, right? All right, so with that being said, let's see here though. Let's go talk about next week. Now, if we close tomorrow or Sunday night's candle below this, then I will be targeting the wick low that was put in on this liquidator candle where the capitulation happened, and that's the low. That will be my target if we get a weekly close below that. If that occurs, then I will go into smaller time frames and look for potential areas of resistance to get short, aiming for the capitulation low. Now, the problem is there's a lot of support down here, right? There is multiple confluences of support. You got the 50 on the 1 week basis. On the weekly basis, you've lost your 50 area on your RSI. That is not good for Bitcoin, guys. The 50 above is the bullish control zone, below is the bearish control zone. If you're below 50, in my opinion, the bears are in control of an asset. It's got to get back out of there to see higher prices. As long as you're closing below this, then it's going lower, right? And what other confluence was there? If we go to the 2 week, you'll see that you are above the 50 on the 2 week. So that's good, right? That's good. What could possibly happen on tomorrow's close is we get a jab down to that 50. That's why I am kind of continuing to look for a little bit of bearishness for the beginning of this week coming, right? For the next weekly range. You can see that the dailies are basically basing, but you're getting lower closes, right? Engulfing to the downside. Now you're testing resistance to see if that wants to hold. If not, you can see the next day or two, price to shoot lower. If you do get a breakout and a close above daily resistance, which is right here, then what we can look for is we can target this wick high and on up into the $50,000 area, right, to get above these swings. However, yesterday's candle did that. Yesterday's candle cleared out the liquidity above these 2 days. So this is why I'm looking for bearish continuation today and tomorrow. The next area of liquidity, the next big area of liquidity is all the way over here. And you can see that we took that out before price traded lower. So price does not have to go to $55,000. Any inefficiency in price has been priced out. So let's explain this a little bit. What do I mean by an inefficiency in price? When you have a massive move down like this, basically price wants to come back and retest where there was normal trading, right? And so far we've done that. So anything below this wick low would have been an inefficient zone. So when price was down here, anything down in here would have been an inefficiency. Price traded back up and closed out that inefficiency here, right? So now this became an area of liquidity. And you can see last week, once we got above that area of liquidity, which by the way, that's where I took the rest of the profits from this bullish move here. I got long on this day and traded it all the way up to that. That's where I exited my position. Now, if I was a complete and total Chad, I would have gotten short there, but I didn't, right? I didn't. So we'll leave that for the next potential move up. But you can see if we look over here, there is a little bit of liquidity left above this. But like I said, I don't see price getting back up there. I'm actually looking for about 55K. And if we go over here and look at these candles, we can see that there's an old swing low in there right around that 50K area. There's really nothing inside of this that we can find. So what we can do to look for potential targets is we can drop to time frames, right? Let's see here. We know this is about where we want to be. All right, that was support. The last support that was thrown in before the massive push lower, this was a massive repricing. Now, if one wants to say that this range is also pretty big, so there could be an inefficiency in there up to that wick high, that's another confluence area for me to possibly look to get short there. So any inefficiency from this wick high up to there could potentially be, targets, bullish targets into the next few weeks. But we'll see. But let's go down into a smaller time frame chart real quick and see if we can find anything. There's nothing on a 4-hour. There's nothing on a 4-hour. Chances are there's nothing on an 8-hour either. Nothing on a 2-hour. There we go. There's an hourly. Beautiful. So we have two. Looks like we have a couple hourly levels. We got an hourly resistance there. And what does that put us at? What price? $53,000. So I won't be looking for that to hold, but it is a potential area where it could hold. I would much rather it get up to this swing low right there. That's what I would want to see. Boom. If we get back up there, we have completely priced out any inefficiencies on the chart, and we could potentially look for more bearishness, and that sucks, right? I hate to be the guy that gives the bad news. People don't want to hear the bad news, but I got news for you. The people that are listening to me right now, those are going to be the people that are making tons of money if we do indeed play this out, right? All right, guys, with that, I'm going to say toodaloo. Once again, happy new year to you and your families. May this year, let's not even say may. Let's say it like this. Make this year your best year ever. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, all that good stuff. And make sure you trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.